Real estate agents, welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga. How's it going back there, buddy?
Excellent, man.
Excellent?
How you doing?
I'm good. Did you ride your bike today?
I didn't.
Darn.
My wife dropped me off.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I was hoping you'd have to ride back in the rain.
No thanks.
Oh, gosh. Hey, we have an awesome guest with us today. And that guest is Kevin Kauffman from Group 4610 with eXp Realty and founder of the Next Level Agents. How you doing, Kevin?
Kevin.
Good, man. Thanks a lot for having me back, guys.
Yeah, I think this is number 3, maybe.
It is, yeah. Lucky number 3.
Sweet. Tony McCarty, I think, kind of reached out. And
Yeah, absolutely.
She's awesome.
God, I love Tony. If anybody doesn't know Tony, I actually feel bad for you. You should know her.
She is awesome.
I feel like I'm a better person because I know her.
Yeah, great sponsor of the show, too.
Yes.
Fidelity National Home Warranty.
Yeah.
Love Tony. So you're here. You're going to share a little bit about an awesome event that you guys have coming up here in Scottsdale soon, and about Next Level Agents. Also, why don't we first start, though, you telling some of these agents how long you've been in the business, what got you into real estate altogether?
Yeah, it's funny. I got my real estate license middle of 07. So for those of us in Arizona in 07, I remember, quite frankly, I had friends tell me I shouldn't get into real estate. I shouldn't do that. I missed the opportunity because it was bad. It was getting worse by the moment. And I'll never forget that. And of course, I'm the guy, as you know, that they told me to do that. So of course I said, well, absolutely, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to get into real estate for sure now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always going to go against the herd, and against the grain. And so I got licensed in 07. I want to say it was my second or third transaction ever was a short sale. It was actually my now business partner, Fred Weaver, who at the time was just a friend. He had a listing, but he was literally leaving the country for his honeymoon. And so he kind of swindled me into helping him with the short sale. And I should have known better because he doesn't drink coffee, and he asked me to meet him in a coffee shop. And so that should have been my first clue. But so he kind of told me about these things where homes were underwater and the mortgages were higher than the actual value of the home, and told me how it'd probably be pretty easy, but he would need my help. And so I remember co-listing that listing with him, having only closed 1 or 2 transactions at that point, and taking that on. And ironically enough, him and I partnered together officially not even 6 months later, and built our business around short sales back in that time.
Absolutely. I remember you guys had a video show, or was it Short Sale Power Hour?
Short Sale Power Hour, yeah, that's it. It's funny, I use video so often, and so many more agents these days use video, and yet still not that many agents use video when you really look at it.
Yeah.
But for me, I've literally been using it for more than a decade. Gary Vaynerchuk's book, Crush It, came out. Mm-hmm. A friend of ours showed it to us and said, you got to do this. And we went to a store. We bought a Kodak ZI-8 camera.
I remember those.
And then,
it
was so great. It had the little USB thing. It plugged it right into your computer.
Yeah.
And we promptly recorded a few thousand episodes of a video blog called Short Sale Power Hour. And so, that was our jam, man, because nobody understood short sales.
Right.
There wasn't enough good education out there. And so we just thought, hey, let's take this to the agents. We're out there in the trenches every day. Let's go teach them what's right. Because actually what had prompted that is I'd gone to a class. I'm the guy who, I try to learn as much as I can. I always want to get better at what I'm doing in my industry or anything that I'm interested in, right? Especially professionally or anything important like that. And I'd gone to a class, and it was about short sales. And quite literally the first words the instructor said was, don't do short sales. They're bad for your business. And I about lost my mind. So that was kind of I wasn't even a year into the business at that point. Fred and I had just partnered together when I heard that. And so we started teaching classes, and then eventually took that to video.
Yeah. And it wasn't bad for your business. That's how you guys built it all up.
I'll tell you what, I'll never forget. I had this, we were taking a bunch of short sale listings, and the video content we were creating was all for real estate agents at the time. Right. We're just trying to educate, trying to give back, because we knew that there wasn't enough content out there. And so, I don't know, second or third call I get from a homeowner that, they're just asking questions about short sales, asking me, the FAQs, and I realized, oh no, they're watching my YouTube videos. Crap. And then after I got over, 30 seconds later, I went, oh, this is a huge opportunity. And I mean, literally, we actually then started a second short sale video blog. Just the content was aimed at a homeowner,
Right.
and put into more FAQ form and why they would want to do it and the things they need to think about. And it helped our business. And I'll tell you, for probably 3 or 4 years straight, I bet you we took no less than 6 listings a month directly from video blogging.
Just from the videos.
Just from the video
Yeah, I
blogging,
bet.
minimum. I couldn't remember a month under 6 or 7 listings
Right.
for years.
Yeah. Well, you guys had so much content out there.
Yeah.
I remember. There's a lot of videos.
We were just pumping it out. We didn't really know what we were doing. We just knew that if we made videos, put content out,
Yeah.
like good stuff could come from
I
that.
still remember you guys just like kicking back on the couch.
Oh yeah,
It was pretty much the entire backdrop.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
We walked into the dump in Tempe, the old furniture store. I don't even think it's still there anymore. Might be something else now. Bought this couch that was on sale. It was a pretty
Yeah.
cool couch. It was comfortable, and dropped $1,000 on it. That was our whole set.
Yeah. I think you even did the flip flops back then too.
Oh
right?
yeah, we had done flip flops. We put those into our logo, mainly because we wear flip flops, and anytime we got to go on stage or something, we'd put on shoes, and we'd always be so uncomfortable that way. And then one time, we decided not to put on shoes, and this is at a big national event for Keller Williams Realty. It was called Mega Agent Camp,
Yeah.
and I was like, let's not go change, because we're gonna be at a table. There'll be a big cloth over it. Sure enough, man, we're at those like tall like bar stools, and like our feet are on camera in front of like 6,000 agents. It was like, okay, we got to make a logo so that way we could just call it branding and
There
marketing.
you go. Yeah.
So,
There we go. So tell me about. Let's get into the event that you have coming up.
yeah. So we call it I call it NLA Live for short, but Next Level Agents Live. So Next Level Agents is a Facebook group that I started along with Fred, my business partner, and a third partner in the group, Cody Gibson, who's an agent friend of mine from Portland, Oregon. And the group just started as it's a mastermind, right? So again, going back to what I love, what Fred loves, and what Cody loves is education, kind of giving back to our community. So we just started this Facebook group for the sake of giving back, having a better conversation with people online. Like, obviously you can only go so far with online, but we knew that if we started a better conversation, then maybe something good could come out of it. So organically we grew it. That group now is about 25,000 members.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And but going back just over 2 years, so it had been a year and a half ago, May of 2018, we put on our first event, and we called it NLA Live, and we did it in Las Vegas. And the whole thought was, hey, what if we did something in person? Like, it'd probably bring this community together even more so, right? Don't know how many people will show up. Our whole goal was to like not lose money and bring people together physically in one city. So we did this one-day event. People loved it. I thought we put on a great event. I thought our speakers were awesome, and quite frankly, we nailed it, right? And so we decided, okay, let's do it again. But the feedback we got was, let's do a 2-day event, because if we're going to fly across the country, because we had people from everywhere,
Right.
we'd like to have more than 1 day of education. So, and we didn't have breaks. Like, we jammed it in there, man. Like, we gave maybe 1 10-minute break. It was like Tony Robbins style. Like, you got to pee, either pee in your seat or just get up and walk out, right? Because we don't have time for that.
Yeah.
So we moved it to a 2-day event this year in 2019. It was awesome. We had just over 400 people show up live. Another, 50 to 70 people watch streaming. And it was good. Like, we were like, hey, we're pretty good at this, and
Right, sure.
we're getting the value out of it too. And based on the feedback we're getting from the audience, they're getting the value that we intended, which is agents helping agents, no matter the brokerage, no matter the team, no matter none of that crap. Like, at the end of the day, as a licensed real estate professional, we're all on the same team.
Sure.
And we should behave that way. And one of my big pet peeves with events or education is it's always slanted towards the brokerage that puts it on, or towards the coaching company that puts it on, or it's not content rich enough for the actual agent because it's more of a networking type deal.
Yeah.
And so we just set out to do something better than what everybody else does when that comes to it, because education is important to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like a great event. So the one that you have coming up then it's actually local.
Yeah, so we decided after doing the first 2 in Las Vegas, since we're here locally in the Phoenix area, why not do it here? Our team does 95% of the work to, make dot all the I's, cross all the T's, etc. Let's just do it in Phoenix. The weather's beautiful that time of year.
right.
Yeah.
We've got Talking Stick Resort, which is a great venue to hold an event.
Right.
We're like let's just do it in Phoenix. It'll make it easier. And so many of our supporters, we're talking about Tony McCarty and Fidelity, Home Warranty and Security Title, and so many of the other companies that actually have supported our event, they're here locally too. So like they're supporting an event in Vegas because there's a decent number of people from Arizona going that we decided to just do it here locally and see what happens.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. We had a guest.
You've got an audience behind you.
I feel like maybe, hey, it's Sue. It's the Sue Reagan. How are you?
The Sue.
Right. Happy anniversary, Sue, by the way. It'll be late by the time you listen to this, but you know.
She was like looking around there.
Is that Kevin? Is that Kevin?
Oh gosh.
So yeah. So at any rate, sorry about that. I digress. So yeah, we're gonna do the event in Scottsdale next year, which will be a change up for us, and we're gonna do it'll be really I kind of call it 2 days plus a bonus day. So come in Thursday, which will be like April 23rd. We'll do, of course, like check in. We've got a few, like, I'll call them side events and a social thing going on, like probably like a mastermind by the pool or just kind of social hour by the pool.
Right.
We've got some folks that get together for masterminds as well. So Fred and I structure one for our mastermind group that we just have. That's just a friendly group of ours. And then we've got another like a group of VIP ticket holders for the event who will come in, and part of what they do is a separate VIP mastermind as well as like a dinner. So we'll do those types of things, and so many of our sponsors put together those get-togethers as well. So we'll do that on that Thursday, and then we'll have content all day Friday, most of the day Saturday, and then we can have another day by the pool hopefully, and then get back to real life.
There we go.
Yeah.
And that's the end of April, or April
23rd, 24th, 25th of 2020. I can't believe it's going to be 2020.
Where do people go
That's weird,
to see the info and register and all that?
Yeah, so to get the info for tickets, you can simply visit nextlevelagents.com. There's a ticket button right there. We're actually running a sale right now. It's $299 for general admission. Regular price for this year's $549 for the two full days. With that $299 though, which it'll be good through the end of the year, through the end of the calendar year. We will also give access to a hotel block where the rooms are only going to be $149 a night. I mean, you can go look on the website right now. You can't get rooms there under like $189 or $199 a night. Right. So, like, I know I'll be staying there locally because it's a long couple of days.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that place is actually pretty cool. My wife and I stay there a couple times for staycations, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's a great staycation location for those of us. Is that a word? Staycation location? It's a great staycation spot, right? For those of us locally who are coming up from Tucson or from Yuma or Flagstaff, Sedona, etc. So, it's a nice place to stay, and they've got a great event venue as well in the building. So I'm excited for it, man.
Yeah. Nextlevelagents.com. Click on, I think there's an events tab.
Yeah, there's an events tab that'll take you right to the tickets.
Okay.
You could also just visit the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/ probably groups and then / Next Level
So
Agents.
I pay $299. I get that includes my room for. No, I'm just teasing.
No, that doesn't include the room. It'll get you access for $149 a night, though. But seriously, though, 2 days of education, because we've been really lucky, like, because we curated this event, right, and we curated the speakers. Honestly, I handpicked probably all but 2 or 3 of the speakers between both years, because I think it's important. Again, like going back to number one, education. What's relevant? What's working in the market? What is something that doesn't have a slant to it? It's just giving back, no matter what company you're at, no matter what team you're on, etc. And so we've had some amazing speakers, some leadership speakers that aren't in the real estate space, like Ronnie Doss, who's a friend of ours, who travels and speaks all around the country, to John Cheplack, who's a trainer and coach of some of the highest producing agents in the world. Literally, he's got a couple of the probably top 2 or 3 agents in the country, to Jason Abrams from Keller Williams Realty, and a great agent by the name of Sarah Kalki from Edmonton, Canada, who is a single agent. She's with Remax. She does just over 125, 130 transactions a year.
What?
She's got an assistant, guys. She crushes it, but she doesn't spend money on marketing. She markets, but she's really clear on who her customer avatar is, right? Yeah. She calls it avatar marketing. She absolutely crushes it. To someone who's got like a really big team, like we had Craig Rieger from the Portland area last year talking about building a team. As he's rebuilt his team, they're closing 400 or 500 transactions in the Portland market, and it's at a high per person productivity. To Steve Valentine as a local guy talking about how do we look at the opportunities we have as real estate agents, at a different, from a different perspective. Instead of, let's just look at this house as a commission opportunity. Let's look at this as, what is it that the homeowner needs? What is it that we could be bringing to the table that might actually help us make more money or build some wealth for us as well? So
investor hat.
Yeah, exactly. And I think as things change, right? You and I were talking off air about how the real estate industry is changing so much. One of the things I firmly believe is we have to start to think and behave that way more so than ever, because as real estate agents who just receive a commission, I think the opportunity that we have income-wise will continue to be pressed down upon. And so we've got to look at the other ways, like what are the things we can do that we're already doing that we just have to tweak something and look at it a little bit differently to bring in the income that we want to be able to bring in with our businesses.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's kind of the next direction I think we want to go on this in the podcast right now too, is kind of what you see going forward for the real estate market. And then 2020, like what do agents need to be focused on or doing differently? Or
I think we need to be focused on less, first of all. So many of us are, and I think this has always been true, right? Like we get focused on all these different things because there are so many different ways to succeed in real estate. There's people succeeding so many different ways that I see the way Jeff does it and Joey's doing it, and then Kevin's doing it this way, right? And then this other guy, he's calling canceled expireds, and this other lady over here, she's doing pure social, nothing else. And everyone's crushing it, and yet no one's crushing it when they try to do everything all the time. And so, number one, focusing on fewer things, getting really clear. I guess what I'm really bringing to my team here locally, and we sell real estate. Like that's the core business for us, has been and will be for a long time to come, is what can I bring to my consumer, right? What is it that they see in the companies like Zillow, Opendoor, OfferPad, Redfin, et cetera, Knock, you name it? What is it that they could get from them that if I just looked at things differently, I might be able to provide a similar or the exact same option? Because I believe that's the question we have to ask ourselves as we go into 2020 and beyond. And I know that's where Fred and I are focusing our time, is really kind of renewing our minds around what that relationship with us and the consumer looks like. Number one, strengthening the relationships, but number two, really looking from a new lens as to what we do, what can we bring to them, right? And making sure that we're that person who they always want to call and go to first.
Right. See, you get that kind of stuff if you go to that event.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, I mean,
in April.
We're lucky because we get to bring in people that do stuff like that and they think cutting edge and we learn from them. And it's not like I invented any of that or thought of any of that on my own. That's from listening to these guys, whether it be Sarah Kalki or Craig Rieger or Cody Gibson or Ronnie Doss or anybody. Leo Pareja owns a company called Remind. He was a speaker last year. Ben Kenny was. But looking at what these guys are doing in their business, in their tech businesses, as well as their real estate businesses, whether it's brokerage, team, or both, and just going, okay, what can I do? What can I take from that? What can I take from what is Zillow doing that they're giving to the consumer that maybe I could give that to them too, or at least be the person that they go to when they want that? How can I be the conduit to maybe something I can't provide? Right.
Well, and I think a lot of agents are fearful, right, of those iBuyers or of just big tech, I think, more than anything. But they're not going away, I don't believe, and I think that we'll just see more and more of them. Yeah, well, I mean, look at the numbers in Phoenix alone, right? So if you take a look at the market share year over year for what they're going forward, not backward. And some people, it'd be easy to go, well, it's only 7% of the market. I go, wow, in 5 years, they've gone from not existing to controlling 7% of the Phoenix market. That's a huge market share. Right. It's 1,000 plus transactions a month when you count the buy sides and the sell sides. Those are big numbers. And really, Zillow is just getting started. They're only 18 months old in this. Yep. And so, they're not going anywhere. How big they'll get, I don't know. But I know regardless of how big they get, I can learn something from them. I can find a way to be in between my consumer and them. I can find a way to bring different values that they can't, or bring the relationship that they can't. Because a company can't out relationship a person ever, no matter what. They can get good at it. They can try. They can have things in place. But when it comes to like what you and I right now, face to face, or the three of us, no company can ever get in between that. So if we just make that our focus and go, hey, how do I bring that value?
and then take our cues from those types of companies, we're going to be okay. I think a lot of people want to either put their head in the sand and pretend that they don't exist, which is totally wrong because, again, it's already 7%. Or they go, it's never going to matter. That'll never work in a down market. Well, it's actually going to work in a down market, trust me. But they're also not going to take away everything from us. Right. So they're never going to be 100%. They're also not going to ever be 0% again. Yeah. So where are they going to be at? And then, okay, so whether they take away 10% of my opportunity or 20% of my opportunity, okay, so where do I get that other 10% or 20% back? Right. And the other thing I look at is they're going to probably, the income that we have, they put pressure on that downward. So if that's the case, which I'm okay with, that just means I got to get better about what's the value I bring, because I'm one of those, as cheesy as it is, I'm one of those believers that I'm going to get paid in direct proportion to my value.
Right.
So if I bring more value to the relationship, maybe that's through, it can be done a ton of different ways. A concierge service, through a fix-up service, through mortgage, through title. You think about all the different things that that people do to service these people. How can I make sure that that the experience from the appointment to not just closing, but ongoing after that is so VIP that I'm going to get paid what I want to get paid. Then these other companies don't matter, other than they're just a fact. And there's something to learn from.
Yeah, no, I like that. It's almost like instead of just being a real estate agent, you're an advisor, right? I think that we need to take more of an advisor type role. Yeah,
it's funny. A buddy of mine who I had on my podcast recently, and he's someone I respect greatly. He said to me, the thing about realtors is that we're really the only profession where right up until the moment you decide to hire me, like I'm in sales, but the minute you sign the agreement with me, I'm no longer in sales and I'm now your consultant.
Yeah.
And or advisor, right? And that is, I think a lot of us can tend to be strictly advisor, i.e. we never get enough business, or strictly sales, in which case we don't ever build these deep, long-lasting relationships. And we got to be able to find a way to wear both hats, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you see the trend of, and by the way, we interviewed Open Door.
Yeah, we did.
Jim Sexton,
yes.
I think. Maybe?
Jim, Disney broker, awesome guy.
So we asked the question, well, what about if the market goes down 5% or 10% or whatever, right? And his answer was, well, who do you think is going to see the market shifting faster?
Yeah.
Us, who hold so many houses, or the individual agent out there?
Yeah, well, I think they'll do better than they currently do in a down market too, for not just that reason, but because in a down market, what's scarce? Buyers. Okay, what are they? Basically an unlimited buyer at the end of the day. Now, granted, they need to turn on and resell it, but listen, I sold lots of houses to investors in 2008, 2009, 2010 when the market was still going down. So you can make money when the values are going down. You just got to buy right. You got to understand that process. And if anybody's going to understand the process, it's going to be the company that's transacted 5,000 times a month for the last couple of years.
Right.
So
no, totally.
Well, at the Inman event that I attended, they were saying that when Open Door and all these iBuyers started coming here to Phoenix, the average was for every dollar they spent, they were making 70 cents. But then just in the summertime, now they're saying that it's 95 cents for every dollar they spend. Yeah. So they're just going to continue to keep going.
And what's crazy about that is they're giving more to the consumer.
Yeah.
So the consumer is actually getting more dollars. So, look at their average fees. Like first year, 5 years ago, it's like 12%. So for the offer price is whatever the offer price is, right? Which those have gotten higher as a percentage of whatever you want to call fair market value. But now they're actually able to charge the consumer, like on average, like 6 to 8%. That sounds an awful lot like realtor commission range. And so that's not like, that's not nothing. Like that's a big deal that they can do it at that cost. And my guess is that those numbers continue to go down.
And what they keep doing, and they're passing it on to the sellers, right? So they got kind of a sliding scale. This is what we're going to offer you, but if you need us to, if you're not going to fix this or this or this, then this is what it's going to cost you.
Yep.
So it's crazy.
We could talk about iBuyers for a couple of days.
Right.
I know.
So what do you think? You think that the teams are going to continue to thrive and grow compared to the individual agent?
I got to be honest. If you asked me that question 2 years ago, I would have said yes.
Yeah, I know it's changing now.
I'm not sold on that answer anymore, and I say that as a card-carrying member of somebody who has a giant team. Like we have a big team. And I can tell you that if I was starting out today, I would probably never even consider building a big team. If it ever got that way because of organic growth, that's one thing. But I would definitely not start out with that thought process like I see a lot of agents kind of start out with. My thought is the more localized, individualized, relationship-based service I can give to my database, my sphere of influence, my clients, the better off I'm going to be. And you can only get so far removed from that, right? If you're going to do that. So I'm not convinced that the teams aren't going to be the way to go. However, if you would have asked me, say, 2 years ago or 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I would have said, yeah. In fact, I'd be afraid not to be on a big team.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm just not sold on that today. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm definitely not saying it's wrong either.
Yeah.
I'm less sure of it, and I'm comfortable being less sure of it because I know that if you just put the consumer first, you're going to be fine anyways.
Yeah.
But I think for the average agent, they just got to be thinking about what can I learn from these big companies, and what can I do for the consumer. One thing I know, I was at an event a couple of weeks. Sorry, not to go off too far on a side note, but I'm at an event in Los Angeles with some of the top teams in the country, and the overwhelming theme from these guys and gals who sell a whole lot of real estate was, hey, like, we're no longer fighting the battle, at the top of the phone. Like, we're no longer fighting that battle. Like, yeah, we're doing some lead generation, we're spending some money, whether that be online or print, etc. We're fighting that battle in our database, in the buckets of leads that we already have, in the relationships that we have. That's where we're really starting to fight our battle, because that's where we'll find our businesses of the future. It's like I mentioned one of our speakers, John Cheplack. He's always said to me, and he's kind of a friend and coach and mentor all in one, and he's always said to me, like, everything you need to grow your business is already inside of it. You don't need anything from external. It's all inside of it already. And I think that's more true than ever right now in our industry.
Wow. No, that's great. Yeah, so the team thing has definitely been a trend over the last 2 to 3 years plus.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I see what that's why I wrote that down real quick. I want to get his take on
I'm glad you asked that, because not enough people ask that question. And, I talk about it people one-on-one. I try not to do what I just did, which is, I don't want anybody to get scared, like if they have a team or anybody on my team, for goodness sakes, to think,
Sure.
oh my gosh, he doesn't think this is the way to, well, it might be, but it might not be either. And I think the rate at which things start to change once technology is involved, and if you look at our industry specifically, like, it's archaic, and we're just now really starting to see some things change. And so at the rate that things can actually progress in our industry, like, we haven't seen anything yet, and so I'm unwilling to bet all my money on teams or even against teams at this point, right?
Sure. Yeah. Makes sense.
Well, back in 2009 when I was teaching how to do video for real estate agents, I always taught you need to grow your business from the inside out, right? Start with your database and continue just to grow your relationships through there by being in front of them all the time, whether it's face-to-face or on video or on the phone or whatever. And it seems like, if people just stuck to that since then, they'd be crazy.
Oh,
right?
So, like, if I could go back and do things over again,
yeah,
I'll tell you. So I told you we started videos in 2009, literally, but we took a couple year period off. It was from like 2013 and 14 and 15. Or maybe it was more like 13, 14, 15, just totally done. No videos. In 16, we started producing a few videos again. And then in 17, we started ramping it back up. In 18, so about just a little more than 2 years ago, so maybe end of 17, we got really consistent with it again. And my biggest regret, if I had one, was that we didn't stay with our video, and I didn't apply it. Like, I should have put the gas pedal down. I should have, whatever analogy, I should have poured the gasoline on that fire and never let off, because the head start that we had then would have been think about it. Like, I know. So what I know now, like, with the things you can do with social and video, it's crazy.
It's because of the technology that's come out, and we're like, ooh, we got to try this. Ooh, we got to try this.
Oh, totally.
Rather than just sticking with what we knew and that worked.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you know what? Yeah. What I was scared of actually was that this isn't like the thing that is growing our business and making our brand. This is like the fun project that we do because it brings us joy.
Yeah.
I need to focus on my business. We were very head down because we had a situation where it was like we went backwards in our business for the first time. We had a bunch of key people leave us because we had gone off and got sidetracked and took jobs as like, I don't even want to go down that road anymore and relive that. And so we're like, hold on a second, we got to get back in here, and short sales were gone. So I always tell people, while I got licensed in 07 and I sold at least 1,000 homes prior to 2013, 2013 was the year I learned to be a realtor, because that's when I had to go sit down at a kitchen table to take a listing. And by the way, Jeff was coming in right behind me, and Joey was coming in right behind Jeff later on that afternoon. And all of a sudden, my ability to build a relationship wasn't enough to get the business. And my knowledge of short sales wasn't enough either, because it was irrelevant at that point. And so I had to learn how to be a realtor that year, and that was a kick in the teeth. And so we kind of felt like, I got to go learn these things. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't, but I wish we would have kept that, at least kindled that flame a little bit along those years.
I hear you.
Who knows where you would have been?
No. Who knows?
No, we interviewed Karen Carr. She's with KW, I think, out in Savannah, and using video. So she's she uses YouTube, and I think she said like 70% of her business now comes organically from people watching her YouTube videos.
It's great. It's insane. The opportunity out there is huge.
Yeah, it is. You just have to make sure that you SEO it the right way inside of YouTube and all that. But
totally,
there's a great opportunity. So, anything else you want to talk about as far as the event before we jump into the ring?
As far as the event goes, just get there. Like, this is the one thing. This is a money back guarantee. Literally, I know it's some people go $549 or right now $300 for an event. First of all, it's not very expensive for 2 days of learning. It's actually really cheap. I've spent well into the 5 figures to learn for 2 or 3 days, especially from some of the best in the industry. But the relationships that you make there, you walk away with one or two tactics, and a stronger relationship, you're going to make more than your money back. And I think most importantly, more than ever, as the rate of change happens, the people on stage aren't just people that like used to do something at one point and they're like, off the shelf for the last 20 years. Right. These are people who are relevant and selling real estate or doing something big in their local market today, right now. Because I'm the other thing, the reason I take so much pride in like curating the speakers is I hate gurus. Like, if you're trying to teach me something you've not ever done, you just don't have my attention. I can't give it to you if you put the name agent in your name, but you're not actually a real estate agent. You never sold real estate. I can't listen to you. Not that you don't have any value, but I will not let you speak into my business. That's for sure.
Right.
And that's a big pet peeve of mine, because there's so much of that in our industry. So we're going to learn from people who are actually doing it, people that are in the trenches at all levels. Everybody from a solo agent who's doing almost everything in their business and crushing it, to the person who's as leveraged as they could possibly be in their business, and they're not going on appointments. But there's different things for different people to learn from, kind of different tracks is how I set it up.
Right. nextlevelagents.com. Go check it out.
Yes.
All right, you ready to get in the ring?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do this thing. Here we go. What do you think the reason is that many agents are not successful?
I believe that agents get into the business thinking it's easy, and it's like HGTV, and it's the truth of the matter is it isn't easy. It's simple, but it's hard work, because it takes being consistent, and really, quite frankly, it's boring.
Yes.
When you find success in real estate, and most people can't deal with that boredom. They can't manage themselves into being bored.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
How about a favorite mobile app?
Favorite mobile app today? Ooh. So it's not my favorite. I'm trying to make it my favorite right now. It's TikTok. I'm attempting to post on there most days, not because I understand it, because I don't, but because I believe Gary Vaynerchuk, and I'm a big fan of, like, from a marketing standpoint, attention is where it's at, and I'm trying to figure out what people respond to and don't respond to on TikTok. Do I think the people on TikTok are going to be buying and selling real estate with me anytime soon? Nope. I'm trying to learn. So probably
they need
TikTok
to get about
right
15 years older.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least 10. At least 10.
That's funny. So Gary also talks about figuring out something you can flip on the sides.
Yeah.
Have you seen him do some of his
totally.
What does he do? He goes to the...
Like, he goes to a yard sale.
Yard sales.
Man,
yeah.
even his sister is a real estate agent in New Jersey.
Okay.
She loves it. That's like a family thing. I've gotten to know her a little bit just like through Instagram messages and whatnot, but she just did a podcast for the first time. And she like talked about like she legitimately that's a trait, man. I love that too. I've always loved the deal. That was one of the things that attracted to me in real estate is being able to put together the deal. Like I traded baseball cards as a kid, or sports cards, really, not just baseball. Hell, I even traded the magazines that told you what the cards were worth, right? And so I love the idea of being able to. It's arbitrage. Go over here and buy it locally, and then go sell it globally, right? I mean, that's a 4-hour work week principle if you think about it. If you ever read that book.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw one where he, what was it? It was Hot Wheels.
Oh yeah,
and he's there's like a whole box there, right? And he's asking like how much for the box, and they're trying to get him up to I think $40 or something. I think he ended up paying $30 for the whole box. And then he's back there and he's doing a video while he's in the car, and he pulls one out and he goes, "Let me look this one up. This one right here is like $75, for this one car."
It's I've always thought like that too. Now I don't always execute, but I loved it when I do. The Boring Company, Elon Musk's one of his side hustles. They literally sold this flamethrower. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No,
they only made 20,000 of them. I saw it they sold out in 2 days. Well, I saw it probably within an hour of him tweeting it. So I just ordered one. I know it's $500, but I literally got delivered. I listed it on eBay and sold it for $1,000 in less than a week. I never even opened the box. I just shipped it to the new owner.
What, a flamethrower?
Literally a flamethrower. You should look that up on Instagram one of these days. Boring
You should have
Company.
been using that on the stage.
That would get attention.
All right. So my wife bought me a T-shirt launcher for Father's Day this year. So you bet I will have T-shirts for NLA Live and the Facebook group. I will be shooting them from stage. I will try not to hit anybody in the face, but no promises.
That'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun. And you can see it all for $2.99.
Yeah,
right?
you can hit the face for $2.99 with a T-shirt.
How about a book recommendation?
So can I give two?
Yeah.
Excuse me. So book recommendation. My most recent, which I found fascinating, really was I explained it to somebody today as it was like a long walk on the beach, holding hands with somebody for my brain. It's this book by Annie Duke, but she's a pretty professional poker player, called Thinking in Bets. It's all about cognitive bias, and I won't give it away too much, but essentially knowing that there's a difference between a bad outcome and a bad decision, and knowing just because something has a high likelihood of working out doesn't mean it will work out, and vice versa. And so Thinking in Bets was a great book I just read, and it's a very short, easy read, but the best book I've read this year, and the most impactful book I've read this year, and probably for years, probably since 4-Hour Work Week, is a book called The Road Less Stupid by Keith Cunningham. The Road Less Stupid. And this is a guy who's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. At one point was worth negative 50 million or negative 100 million, something ridiculous, lost it all. And it's based on this premise of thinking time, this thing that he calls thinking time. And when I actually heard him speak, I got to spend 2 days in a room with him and about 50 other entrepreneurs from all different industries. I'd never been more blown away and thought I'd been around someone so wise from a business standpoint in my entire life. So went out and bought the book. I instantly just ordered a case of it because I've been giving them out to friends as a present or as a thank you, or something like that. So the Road Less Stupid, I could not recommend that enough.
Wow.
Just purchased it right now on
You
Audible.
did?
Yes.
That's some pressure. Hopefully it's good.
That's funny. All right, you got one more?
One more
question right here.
All right.
This is beautiful. What is that?
Do I get to read it, or do you read it?
Only if you can read mine.
What did you want to be growing up?
Oh, that's a good one.
What did I want to be the most growing up, or all of the jobs I wanted? Because at one point, I wanted to be a cop, like my grandfather. Grandfather was a highway patrolman. There was a point where I wanted to fix computers because
I remember those days.
I just because the reality was we knew things were going well with computers. I thought I'd always be in a job. But if I ever had a dream job, and understand, I feel totally unemployable, mostly because I can't even dress myself like an adult, and I can't take direction from people well at all. But if I could have one job, it would be to be the general manager of a sports team, specifically baseball or football or basketball. But
is there a specific one?
Dream job would be for the Raiders or the Dodgers or the Lakers for sure.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. I love even as a young kid, something always pulled me towards the business side of sports, and I always loved it for not just the sport, but the business side of the sport. Like I understood when players got traded and understood contracts, and all of that made a lot of sense to me. And I like the idea of putting those puzzle pieces together. So, you know, a long time ago, my favorite book I would have told you would have been Moneyball. Because and not the movie, but the book. Like there's some deep stories there about processes and the way you build organizations, and you put all these little puzzle pieces together.
Wow.
So in fact, I always said if I was like,
that's cool.
The worst thing that could happen to me, and maybe the best thing would be like, you know, start a company, sell it for a couple $1 billion like Mark Cuban. But the problem is then I would just be the owner. I would be just like Mark Cuban on the sidelines, getting in trouble with the league, you name it. But man, would that be a lot of
Looks
fun.
like he has a lot of fun though.
Yeah, he has a ton of fun, guaranteed. Yeah. You'd have to take away all my social media though, because I'm just a loose cannon. Like, you know.
You need one of those that like it like has a delay.
Totally.
A little bit. So
somebody
that
would
you
have
have
to
enough time
approve.
to like, look at it again.
No, not me. No, you can leave that up to me.
You have to have a manager for your social.
You would need someone to go, like, actually be a filter.
Yeah, have a PR guy just watch everything you do.
That's funny. That's great. Well, thank you so much for coming back in, man.
Yeah, man, it's been my pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, so hopefully a lot of agents that listened in will come out to the event.
Yes.
Pack the house out there.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. nextlevelagents.com. Check us out.
Absolutely. All right, agents, until next time, we will see you later.
See ya.
Take care. All right. Good job.
Nice.